Hey folks, today is Friday, August 30th, 2019. As usual, my name is Jake Baldino, here to talk about the video game news that has been going on this week. We want to get you guys caught up. We're at PAX West 2019 in Seattle, Washington. That's why, pardon the mess. It's not a mess, it's a great video game convention. I always say you guys should come. I've met a lot of you here. Shout out to y'all, appreciate that. But let's just get right into it. There's a lot going on this week. The first thing we want to talk about real quick is actually a graphics demonstration. Every once in a while, we like to highlight weird trailers or weird things people made that we're really impressed by. So check this out. These videos posted on Twitter have actually been going a little bit viral. This is from Dennis Gustafsson. He is at Tuxedo Labs, and he's been posting some really impressive demonstrations about what he's been building in game design. You guys got to check this out. Like, there's a video of like a deformation with a rusty pipeline that collapses and breaks realistically. He's been doing a lot of really impressive work around destruction. At some point he uses acoustic modeling and audio. So he's playing around not only with destruction, but like how it works and also how sound works in conjunction with it. Basically, we're highlighting this. We've done this before. This is like what we hope that graphics do eventually become. We hope modern games do push boundaries like Dennis is doing here, because this is incredibly impressive. As you can see on screen, of course, we also linked his Twitter profile in the description down below if you want to go check them out, throw them a retweet or something. Basically, every once in a while, we like to just highlight cool shit. Also, it makes a very interesting title. And we know that a lot of you guys out there, like some of you guys who I talk to, like take a lot of interest in how games are made, and we think this is a really cool example. So go check it out. Let's move on. The next story we have to talk about, I'm really excited about this. Resident Evil popped up in the news a little bit quicker than I thought. Now, there are rumblings of the next Resident Evil. There's also rumblings of a Resident Evil 3 type of remake similar to Resident Evil 2. But what we have here, thanks to a leak, are some images from something called Resident Evil Project Resistance. An R-E-Sistance, get it? That's hilarious, right? No, you don't like that?
Nah.
I hope they don't actually call it that. So what we got to look at is a couple of screens of characters who look very young. The one character looks like he's rocking like a Raccoon City High School varsity jacket. A lot of people are suggesting that this looks like a Resident Evil Outbreak type of thing. And if it is, I think that's incredibly interesting, because that was a game that didn't really get its time to shine. It built up a community, but it seems like mainstream audiences didn't embrace that back in the day. So if they're trying that again in the modern, more multiplayer-focused landscape, I'm curious. I'm also bummed though, because like I was expecting Resident Evil. Maybe this is Resident Evil 8. I don't know. It could also be, and I want to give credit to Tom. Tom had the concept that this is like an asymmetrical multiplayer game starring the Nemesis, and that's how they do that type of thing. I don't know if that's exactly what I want. It's interesting, who knows? Regardless though, we are going to get official word, an official announcement from Capcom. I believe it's September 9th. So that's definitely something to look forward to. I mean, come on. Capcom's been kind of on like a winning streak lately, so I'm really curious to see what comes of this. Also, in other news, this is something that like might not sound too exciting to you guys, but for me it is. Digital Eclipse is putting out a essentially new, remastered a little bit version of The Lion King and Aladdin in a collection for all the platforms. I think that's a really, really cool and exciting announcement, because it's such an odd thing. But also, if you're like maybe my age, you know, your mid-20s, chances are you grew up playing these games. They were very specific licensed games at a time that were like really badass, and Lion King, and more specifically Aladdin, takes the cake. So what they're doing here is essentially adding more features, like a rewind ability. They're adding a bunch of special features like concept art for these games, but also you know, a little bit cleaned up graphics if you want them, a bunch of filter options, similar to like what they've done with like DuckTales Remastered and stuff like that. Digital Eclipse's work is really impressive, but they have for the Aladdin, the Sega Genesis version, the Game Boy version, and also like a show floor cut, like a demonstration that has been never before seen by the public, which is really cool if you like video game history and preservation, which I try and talk about as much as possible here. Interestingly enough though, they don't have the Super Nintendo version, which is, it's like a historical thing for video games. People argue what's better, the Sega Genesis version or the Super Nintendo version. The Super Nintendo version, interestingly enough, was worked on by Shinji Mikami, the founder, one of the creators of Resident Evil, so that's huge. It's probably not in here for some weird legal reasons, but still, I think the package that we are getting is really exciting, and I probably went on talking about it way too long. I'm sorry, but I like stuff like this. $30, it comes out in the fall, and it's on PC, PS4, Switch, and Xbox One, so I'm totally gonna play that. Maybe we think we can do a before you buy on that?
Probably.
That'd be cool. Also, in other news, Telltale Games kind of returns, sort of. You might have missed this news. This was a little bit of like a smaller blip in the industry, but essentially a company bought up what was left of Telltale. LCG Entertainment purchased it up, and essentially they're going to sell off some of the assets, but they're going to work with some of the properties that they have to make new stuff. I think it was just a company that had some money and saw the name and saw like the deals and the licenses that they have gotten in the past, and they want to see if they can make something of that. They have publicly stated that they will be offering some former Telltale employees freelance jobs with the possibility of them becoming full-time, which I think is kind of a bummer, and a lot of Telltale people seem not happy that this is happening, but it also shows that this seems like this might be like a very small-time operation. They're not working with much. I don't know, though, because like, I mean, if they're savvy, they could turn this around and just make Telltale 2.0 and do it right, because those games are proven. People do want those games. It just has to be done maybe with a better business model. But I'm literally no one. I don't know anything about business. I'm really stupid, so who knows? I do want to know what you guys think, though, especially you big Telltale fans. Like, what are they going to make? I just like, will they do something like Wolf Among Us 2, or are they going to try and, reignite and capitalize on the Marvel partnership? Who knows? I think it's really up in the air right now to see if this really goes anywhere. We're just gonna have to wait and see. A thing I say literally every video. Now, we got a bunch of stuff linked in the description below, just for you guys to catch up on, to get you caught up. The first thing is about 25 minutes of 4K Dying Light 2 gameplay. We've seen this running in real life, and it's very impressive. It kind of shows you like how different Dying Light is 2 compared to the first one, and what they're doing with the systems, the world, and the story. I love the first Dying Light, so this is like one of my most anticipated games, so consider checking that out. We also have, of course, the gameplay just dropped for Cyberpunk 2077. I know you guys are going crazy, so go check it out. It's linked in the description. If it's warranted, we can break it down more later on. But what we've seen here, Tom and I actually got to see at E3, and it's awesome. Go enjoy that juicy gameplay, because the actual game release can't come soon enough, dude. I swear to God. Also, got to link it in the description below. Some reading material. Like I said, we talk about games so much here, you guys and me. We should be well read up and do our homework on them. So this is a really, really good, thoroughly researched, well-reported making of the Tony Hawk series. The oral history, essentially, of the Tony Hawk series. I know I recommended a Tony Hawk written piece last week, but I'm gonna do it again, damn it. I don't care, it's my favorite series. But people put really hard work into this story, and I think it's worth a read if you're kicking back this weekend. Also, super quick, I was invited to go check out the Coalition and see Gears of War just before release. So just some quick first impressions. The campaign feels and seems radically different. Large, open-ended areas where you can take your time and go around and find hidden weapons and Easter eggs and stuff like that. A revamped and very impressive multiplayer mode with full server capability and searching. I actually really liked playing as Sarah Connor in the multiplayer horde mode. I thought she kind of fit in like a weird, dumb way. The horde mode is very cool. I'm addicted to that. Really, the big thing is here, I'm just blown away at like how many different things they have. They have the full single player campaign, which does seem impressive. They have the full multiplayer. They have the whole horde mode. They have that escape mode. And they also have a map editor. They have a lot going on here for this game, so the idea is for people to play for a long time. I was very interested by their thought process behind making this game, but we'll have a before you buy out probably next week, so keep your eyes peeled for that. We got you guys covered. And just some last minute PAX West catch up. We did get to play Avengers, and we got to get a lot more detail about essentially what the game is behind the scenes. They let us ask a bunch of questions and just how it works. So essentially, that tutorial area is like, oh, the main Avengers, it sets it up. But then after that, the time jump is like sad Avengers that you have to group back together. There is going to be a map that you access in a hub that you can roam around, which you can upgrade. And then from there, you select 2 different types of missions. There's Warzone missions and Hero missions. Hero missions are the main missions that kind of progress the story and move things forward, while the Warzone missions also have story elements to them but don't move things forward, and that's where you can engage in like online co-op and play with your friends and pick what hero you want. There's also a lot going on with skill trees. Each character has a skill tree, but the loot system is pretty intense because there is essentially colored rarity. It's one of those types of loot games, so the higher level loot, the more rare loot you get, like a chest thing for Tony Stark, essentially gives you new abilities and new perks and kind of changes how you can play. So you can actually focus your play style on, do I want to be an aerial Thor who throws his hammer from the sky, or down on the ground and brawling? There's a lot going on. We still have more questions. I'm feeling a little bit more hopeful about it, as I was, initially kind of skeptical. We got enough information. We'll probably make a video soon, so keep your eyes peeled for that. We're gonna get back to it. We have a panel we're doing for like our live show. We're doing it live in front of some of you guys. Shout out to you if you show up. But let's talk about everything going on this week. There's a lot. So what do you think of this new Project Resistance thing? What do you think it could possibly be? We threw out a lot of ideas. A lot of people are throwing out ideas. At the time of making this video, we don't know yet. More information could come out, so keep your eyes peeled. Also, what do you think of that Cyberpunk 2077 gameplay? That is some hot shit. And I don't mean like hot shit like in a bad way, I mean it in a good way. Definitely want to know what you guys are thinking about that. And also the graphics we posted at the start. Have you ever made anything like that? Do you know anyone that can make anything like that? And how would you want to see stuff like that, destruction elements, implemented in a game? Honestly, Control has really good destruction elements, anything close to this, so check that out if you haven't yet. But now we got to do that console giveaway, of course. I didn't forget. That's the link in the description below. You click it to sign up, you enter once, then you're entered for good, and then every single week, we go in and randomly choose one person to win a free console of their choice. So this week's winner is going to be this person right here. Congratulations. Be sure to keep an eye on your inbox, your spam box, stuff like that, because we're going to be reaching out to you to find out how to send you your free stuff. But that's it for us. So if you want to yell at me or say anything to me, hit me up on Twitter and Instagram at Jake Baldino. I'll be here every Friday. I'm on Before You Buys. We're also doing the Tuesday show live. If you're ever around, catch that 4 p.m. East Coast time. But that's it. So if you had a good time with us here today, if we kept you filled in, clicking the like button is the best way you can help us out. We really appreciate it. And if you're new, consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell, because we put out videos every day, dude. But as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Pizza's on me. Not pizza in Seattle, though. I mean, it's fine, but like in New York, All right, cut.